Greetings all, BWS2K here with my water this time for the next issue of Phenomenal Phroggy. So if you watched last time, you sort of got to see her debut, and if you watched the video before that, you got to see where we kind of came up with the character, and so this will be sort of the next issue, the next adventure that she goes on. So a couple things before we start though, you will notice in green, I can actually come down here and do this little circle here. In green, I have counterattack SFX. Last time, you remember, we were kind of having a good time. It was all good times, but it kind of felt like it dragged. And one of the house rules that I usually use in my Marvel Heroic or Exiles games is the counterattack SFX is just table wide, which is that on a successful reaction, you can spend a plot point to inflict your effect die as stress on the other, on the attacker, on the actor. So if Cyclops is the actor and it's on Cyclops' turn, Cyclops decides to shoot an optic blast at Magneto, and Magneto reacts and describes his reaction as pulling Colossus up from across the room to try to block this blast. And then they roll. Well, Cyclops rolls and then says that, and then Magneto says that, and then rolls. And if Magneto's total is higher than Cyclops' total, that means Cyclops failed, right? So so Magneto could spend a plot point to inflict stress on Cyclops. Probably like emotional stress, because you just shot your friend, or it could be physical stress if Magneto wants to describe actually hurtling Colossus at Cyclops. Whatever, it's a counterattack. But it is in Marvel Heroic in Cortex Prime, it is in the book as an SFX somewhere in the big list of SFX, I think. And I just like to have it be table wide. It makes things go a little bit quicker. It also feels a little bit more comic book-y, and that's kind of the flavor, the punch back and forth and back and forth. Last time, Phroggy, it was fun, but there were turns where it just kind of felt like there wasn't a whole lot that happened in terms of stress. So this makes that kind of a little bit more suspenseful or meaningful, or there's a lot more trade, there's a lot higher stakes in a sense. Okay, so that's what we're doing, and then also she does have the Assault on Ron's Attic session record and the 2d6 popularity now. We kind of upgraded those from last time, or acquired them last time. So the way this works is we go through New York supplement for Marvel superheroes, and there are like scenarios in there that you're supposed to kind of randomly generate and play through in that game system. So what I had started doing with Sentinel Man, and what I'm going to do today, and what I had done last time, is to just pull a scenario from there and kind of make Cortexify it, okay? So I'll read you the summary like I did last time for this encounter from New York supplement, and then we'll play through it in our Cortex Prime, or what did we call it last time? Marvel Prime Plus or something like that? Marvel Prime? Marvel Heroic Prime? I don't remember. Anyway, because we've got this kind of hack going on. All right, so let me read you the summary. Oswald Oz Moore was an employee of Cascade Clerical Help, located in the Stone Building. Because of his emotional problems and alcoholism, he was fired last Friday. Now he's returned, taken 2 secretaries hostage, and is holding them on the roof of the building while he takes potshots at passers-by. Moore is very unstable. When playing him, alternate from sympathetic to accusing, attentive to violent. These mood swings make him as dangerous as the most nefarious world beater, perhaps more so. And then it goes on to describe a little bit more of the mechanics. I like some of what's going on here, but I'll be honest, some of it is a little bit just not interesting to me for various reasons. So I did change things around a little bit in terms of how I ported it over. I actually did something which I did, we had in the Exiles Nightmares of the Future Past, the, what did we call it? With Storm? Release? No. I don't remember what it was called. Oh, that's so terrible. But anyway, the one where I have it on the channel that I actually recorded the playthrough, we did something like this. We did a crisis pool / timed test. So the way this is going to work is we've got Oswald. He's up on the rooftop, and he has some hostages, and it's sort of just a volatile situation. I don't know that I would have included all of the details that were included there, but suffice to say, things are tense. Phroggy is in class, I think, and from where she's at on campus, can see out the window, and probably the other students, and maybe even the professor. And there's going to be this kind of like, Professor, I gotta go. And the professor is probably like, go for it. You know, we saw you on the news last time. Go for it. Just make sure you catch up with the class tutor or whatever. You know, it's trigonometry or whatever it is. I don't know how much trigonometry you need to be a foot doctor. But anyway, so she kind of jumps off the or out of the window and off campus and is going to be making her way to the rooftop where Oswald is. And so timed tests in Cortex Prime are essentially you have a limited number of rounds to eliminate or to have a certain number of successes. So that's a timed test. In a crisis pool, you want to eliminate dice. So when I combine them together, and you can see what I've written there, only 3 rounds to reduce this crisis pool, or take D8 stress, emotional stress, and add the remaining dice to the Doom pool. So our Doom pool starts at 3d6. So what we're going to be doing is taking actions against this crisis pool. And if we have a heroic success, then it doesn't count against us as a round. If we just have a regular success, that's 1 round, and we get 3. If we have a failure, then that's 2 rounds. Okay, so we have 3 rounds, beats maybe is a better way to say it, to eliminate this crisis pool. And of course, Phroggy doesn't have area attack or anything like that, so this could actually go poorly for her. But we'll see how it goes. The picture, by the way, for Oswald Moore, if it looks anything like a certain red, white, and blue clad Avenger leader known to carry a shield, it's because I borrowed it from a picture of him yelling into the phone. I'll zoom in, you can see what he's saying. Because I figure this is what someone who is in a volatile state might shout at their employer that they just got fired. Go to blazes, you ungodly piece of junk. Live forever, rebuild yourself 100 times. You'll never terrorize me again. You know, he's upset. And we're not even going to get into whether or not he's justified in what he's doing. The book describes him as being, you know, emotionally disturbed or whatever. I think maybe everybody's just, you have a bad day sometimes, and I think he's just making some poor choices. So Phroggy shows up on the scene and assesses it. There's probably a crowd already gathered, as there usually is for these sorts of things, and probably local law enforcement may even already have a presence there by the time Phroggy gets there. Probably just kind of jumping across rooftops and that sort of a thing. But she arrives and sees Oswald Moore there on the roof with the hostages. And so I think her first concern is probably the hostages and to check if anybody's hurt, right? Because she's got that medical, you know, background a little bit, and also just wanting to stabilize. And I know that I won't go too far down this rabbit hole, but I know that sometimes in a moment of crisis, a good reset can be just asking, well, you know, are you physically okay right now? Are you hurt? Are you bleeding or anything? I worked in an elementary school, and we'd have sometimes kids who were just so lost, you know, in the static when they get into that elevated state. It's a good question to kind of pull them aside from that doesn't really address that sometimes. And you can be like, look, a lot of people talking, we can talk in a second. Before we start, are you hurt? Is there any, does your body hurt? Are you okay? And that's kind of a nice reset that I like to use. And I think Phroggy would try something similar. And so that's going to be her first role, is going to entail kind of addressing that and addressing the hostages as well, just to make sure that everybody's kind of medically stable, physically stable, to try to de-escalate the situation. This is very much a de-escalate kind of thing. She's not going to like assault Oswald Moore, and this isn't really even a good setup for doing that because it's just a time to test crisis pool. What would we call it? A crisis pool? Man, we're breaking all kinds of like core rules and making up our own stuff. But I haven't broken Cortex Prime yet. Okay, too much talking. Let's go. Phroggy's going to make this test. So we got to roll the test first for Oswald to see what she needs to beat. All right, that's not bad. He's got a hitch there, but there's no reason for her to use anything. So she got a total of 8, or the test is a total of 8. So Phroggy, scroll down a bit so you can see the sheet. Phroggy is going to use, I think, definitely this is a sometimes saving lives just means saving lives distinction. So that's definitely the distinction we're using here. Acrobatics Grandmaster, I mean, it could have worked in the sense that's how she got there, but I think medical expert medical expert works because she's got her medical bag, which we will actually include in there. 1d6, that signature asset. Resources or popularity? Do we feel like either of those would factor in? I mean, she's a mutant, so she obviously looks different. And they may have seen her on the news. So we might. Let's see what else we can put. Can we put anything from either of the power sets? Not really. But I'll tell you what we'll do. Maybe we can score a heroic success. We'll add in one of the popularity resources afterwards. But right now, we can reference assault on Ron's attic and just kind of have it be. Well, no, actually, that would be something we'd do after this. So hang on. So let's roll this. Oops. So we're just looking to beat an 8. We got 2 d8s and a d6. As long as we don't roll a hitch, I think we'll be okay. So we've got a total there of. We do 11. So let's do 11 first. Then what we'll do is. She's kind of counting on her reputation preceding her, which isn't necessarily something that she says, but I'm going to say that maybe she's recognized by the hostages or by Oz. So I'm going to actually go ahead and roll the a popularity resource. It's just a 1. Well, that is kind of the worst roll. Anything else would have given us heroic success, but that's all right. So we'll what we'll do is resource dice just add. There's no hitches on them. So it's going to be a total of 7 and a 4 plus a 1. So that's a total of... oh, nuts. Yeah, because the d6 isn't going to take down the... It's just going to reduce the crisis pool. Oh, this is not going to look good. All right, it's okay. We'll keep it. So 7 and 4 is 11 plus the 1 is 12. So we have a total of 12 with d6 effect. So that's going to reduce this to a d6. Oh, I should have put a... We can do text. No, that's got to be bigger. Bear with me. I think we can go like that. Yeah, okay. So that's a really lame way of saying it, but that one's a 6. So basically what we're doing is that d6 effect die is stepping down one of the crisis dice. I forgot, we're not just knocking them out. Oh yeah, I don't feel optimistic for Phroggy here. And that's 1 round. Okay then. So that didn't work out so well for her. I think probably as she arrives, maybe there's some mumbling amongst the hostages. They probably got tape over their mouth, but it's like there's some recognition. But Oswald is just not interested in heroes. He wants his job back, basically. And so she's the first to arrive, Phroggy is, so he's just going to start yelling at her and berating her, but also kind of like stepping away from the edge, so to speak, right? Like he's got a person to focus on, and he is engaged, even if it's in that crisis moment, crisis state, right? So she will go ahead and engage, and I think she's going to try to reinforce that idea of... like reintroduce herself in a sort of low and slow, calm manner, and kind of hope that she gets to essentially doing the same thing she just did, but hoping that it works this time with a little bit of a different spin. Because this time I want to try to include. I'll include the other popularity resource after we roll, and then I think I want to try to reference the previous one, but I'm not sure how to do it, and it would have made a difference this time. So let's try it again. So let's go with. So this is round 2. Sometimes saving lives just means saving lives. So that's a D8. Oops. Medical expert, D8. Popular comes after. That's a resource. Nothing from the power sets. Nothing from the power sets. How did we get 3 dice last time? The medical bag. 1d6. So, oh no, wait. What are we doing? We have to roll D8 plus D8 plus D6 to set the test. So she has to be a 9 this time. All right. D8 plus D8 plus D6. Ooh, oh, that's good. So now we're going to roll the other popularity resource. It's another one. Okay. So we can go 2, 8. If we do the D8 8 and the D6 2, that's a total of 11. But we can use that D8 to knock off the D6. So let's do that. So we're going to add the 8 and the D6 2 and then the 1. So 8, 2, and 1 for a total of 11 with that D8 effect, which will actually just knock out this this die altogether. And we can maybe... Actually, we probably had to save that, right? In case we need it again. Okay, so it starts to work. He's up there, he's screaming. I kind of imagine he's on a cell phone or like he's in the landline, plugged into the landline or whatever. But he's like hangs up the phone and he's like starts to explain how it had been a really rough week and he'd kind of been like under the weather, woke up with a migraine, came into work. It was a junky day, and then he got fired. And he's been there for a long time, and it was just totally disrespectful. And Phroggy's just listening. Which last time she was all kinds of chatterbox. This time she's just listening. And she's like, well, I hear that. And I think she's probably actually going to put her medical bag down and start opening it up. Like she's just like going through some medical stuff. Because again, she's kind of dressed in scrubs most of the time because most of her classes are kind of like have lab classes and that sort of thing. And she works as a lab tech anyway. So she's oftentimes in some sort of medical attire. So she's probably like, eye contact with him as he's talking, but like walking over to the hostages and like slowly opening up and doing some checking and that sort of a thing. Very low impact, but definitely establishing that rapport and hoping to bring that situation down even more. Okay, so but that's 2 rounds. So she's not going to be able to completely reduce this crisis pool, but that's okay. So let's roll again for the 3rd round. It is just 2d8s. Well, if she gets a heroic success, she gets another round, because this round won't count. So we'll see how it goes. What's the test total? Oof. Test. Come on, test. Total. 13. Alright. Well, Phroggy does not have the popularity resources anymore. So, what makes the most sense here? I don't think she's going to be able to get a 13. And she doesn't have any of her... We're not really using our powers right now. No, you know what? I think she's going to... I think she is going to offer to... Maybe she's going to do a little bit of white lying here, and she's going to say, this person needs some medical attention. Maybe they have a bracelet, and they need their insulin or something like that, right? And she's going to call that out. She's going to like, this person actually needs some medical attention. Do you mind if I just bring her down, like hop down there and then hop back up? See, hopping, leaping, we can use our power die, right? But is that cool? You can stay up here. I'm not going to, you can see I'm unarmed. But this person needs medical attention, and there's, police and an ambulance and stuff. We're going to hop down there if that's cool with you. So let's see if that works. So that's going to be, once again, sometimes saving lives just means saving lives. Medical expert D8. We're using our medical bag as well, so you get your asset. But now we'll add in leaping. And yeah, okay, so nothing else really goes on there. So we need to beat a 13. Oof. What we need to do is beat a 13 heroically, which we cannot do. So even if we succeed, it's still a failure to reduce the crisis pool, because I forgot how crisis pools work. I forgot my own mechanic. But that's okay. It's not a big deal. So she rolled a 1. You know what? She rolled a 1 earlier too, didn't she? Yeah, she did. The Doom Pool should have grabbed those. So let's bump up 2 of the D8, do 2 D6s to 2 D8s retroactively. She hasn't used any plot points. Doom Pool hasn't done anything. It's fine. All right. So, well, let's do her total. Her total is going to be... yeah, it's not gonna make a difference. Total of 12 with D8 effect, because we can use the D6-4. And that will reduce this one of the D8s to a D6. But ultimately what's going to happen, I think, narratively speaking, is she has failed this, right? So she has been, I think, maybe allowed to bring this person down, because it was a... oh no, it was a failure. What am I doing? Her total was not greater than 13. So that's not a thing. So it was a failure. So her kind of like petitioning to bring this person down doesn't fly. And in fact, I think probably what happens is this is the point where the police chopper shows up and things start to get a little bit heated, and he turns around and he's shouting. And so she is kind of like not wanting to abandon, but I think the police kind of showing up, it's like, get out of there. What are you doing? You're making the situation worse, right? To her. Like the authorities are saying that to her. So then she is going to take D8 stress. So let's... actually, you know what we can do? We can just bring this right down. D8 stress. And I think it's going to be emotional stress. She's chagrined. Kind of was really trying to help out, and it didn't really work. And then 2 D8s get added to the Doom pool. So now we have 4 D8s in the Doom pool. And basically that whole situation was kind of a bust. She was trying to help out, and it didn't really work. It didn't necessarily mean that she failed in the sense of she really did make things worse, but she just wasn't able to intervene and de-escalate quickly enough for there to have been a meaningful impact. So that's that. However, if you remember, last issue, we introduced a character who had been watching Phroggy. And so I think as Phroggy kind of makes her way from that scene, sort of returning to class on her way back to campus and just kind of like down, she's a little bit distracted, and then she just gets blast right out of the air and ends up falling right on the pavement in, I guess I always just kind of like go with a dark alley, because that's just like the stereotypical thing, and that's where this figure was looking out from. And if I can be fancy about this, go to the background, click this, and I can actually just delete it. Oh yeah, I have skills. So we have Mystery Man. The Doom Pool's kind of in the way here. So we have Mystery Man, kind of this purple laser-eyed gentleman, creature, fellow. Mystery Man is a boss, 3d8 boss, with d10 reflexes, blast, and durability. SFX called Looks That Kill. On a successful action using blast, step up or double the effect die. So doubling the effect die would just mean applying 2 different kinds of stress. Additional effect die may be added directly to the Doom pool. So you could just have 1 stress and then add the other one to the Doom pool. And then tactical repositioning SFX, add remaining boss dice to the Doom pool to leave a scene. Which I think last time, I don't remember where our Doom pool ended, but there's been enough time that has transpired, I think, that the Doom pool I just reset it at the beginning of every session. I like that SFX though, because I think in the future we're going to make a little more use of it. But for right now, it doesn't so much. It's probably not going to come into play, because this is how this is going to play out. Okay, so now we've got. I put OM, but it is obviously Mystery Man. The Mystery Man is definitely going to get the first action in here. And so he's going to say in that sort of monotonous, robotic voice, he's going to say something like, Phyllis Francis Allen, you have been targeted for termination. And just try to hit her with another laser blast. So that's going to be 3 d8s plus a d10 for blast. That's his action. And he rolled a hitch. So that's going to be a total of 14 with D8 effect. But Phroggy is definitely going to spend one of these plot points, buy that hitch, and step down emotional stress, because she is feeling like she was disappointed, but here's another opportunity to prove yourself, get your head in the game, So for her reaction, she's obviously going to try to dodge, which is going to be Legacy of Heroism, I think. Makes sense. And Acrobatics Grandmaster, which we'll use as two D10s. That really worked out well for us that way last time. Oh, he should have included her stress die. See if it makes a difference. Wait, I don't think it... Well, it could have. Alright. See if this changes his pool any. Yeah, 7. Okay, hang on. So, MM's total is 16 with D8 effect. Alright, that's what Phroggy's gotta be. Okay. I think I said it last time, I always like to roll the extra dice. Because it could have been a hitch, and hitches can be a big deal. So she's got 1d8 from Legacy of Heroism to dodge out of the way, and Acrobatics Grandmaster, which we're doing as 2d10s. And now is when she would spend the pop point to buy that hitch, by the way. She had d8 stress on his turn. Nothing about wealth or popularity is going to matter. Obviously, leaping. We're not using any of the Croak power set. So this is to beat a 16. Can she do it? Ooh, but she's got a hitch. All right, well, add to the Doom pool. And I think we're going to step up one of the D10s, or one of the D8s to a D10. But can she do a total of 16? She can do 9 and 8, which is 17, with a D8 effect, which means she succeeds on her reaction, so she narrowly avoids his blast. But I think she's gonna, as she dodges out of the way, it's gonna be this kind of like breakdancing move that just like kicks him right across the jaw. And so we're gonna spend a plot point to inflict this D8 stress, or this D8 effect die back to him. We're doing the counterattack thing here. So he's actually gonna have some stress for a moment until, why is this? Whatever. So it's going to be a D8 jaw. What do we want to call it? Something fun? Nope. Kicked in the face. There we go. That's what we'll call it. But we're going to make it officially contrail and smaller. Oh, actually, that's not bad. D8 kicked in the face. All right, so that was his turn. Didn't work out so well for him. Not only did he miss, but he also got a frog foot to the face. Ooh, that's some good alliteration. I should have had that as the complication. But now it is Phroggy's turn. This person's obviously not playing around, and she's going to be going out. Like this is a, this is a moment. So she's going to do Legacy of Heroism. I think her goal here is to continue the physical assault and knock him out. Obviously, this is a superhero, supervillain, some kind of character that is not looking for mercy, and so she's going to kind of pummel this person a little bit with some bicycle kicks or something like that, right? So we got 1d8 Legacy of Heroism. Grandmaster will split into 2d10s. Will include his d8 stress, or complication rather. Leaping d10. And do we want to do Croak? Maybe she shouts as she does it. Maybe she gives a little like a sonic croak. Yeah, I said she was going all out, so I think we will. 1d10 for that. Ooh, okay, all right. So that's some good dice there. So she's going to have a total of easily 17, but I think we're going to go with 23. I think we're going to spend a plot point to keep an additional die for our total. So we're going to add a 6, the 10, and the 7 for a total of 23. Right? Yeah, 23. And then we'll have a D10 effect to do P stress on Mystery Man. So Mystery Man rolls 3d8 boss dice and a D10 durability, and the D6 E stress. Oops. D6 E stress that Phroggy has. So probably not a success, but we'll see how. Okay, 6, 3, 5, 8. So we can go 8 and 6 is 14. So that keeps it from being a double heroic success. But it's still gonna be bad. unless we spend some Doom dice. So let's, if we could do a total of 14 by adding the 8 and the 6. If we add in 5, that makes it 19. So let's spend this D6 out of the Doom pool and rob Phroggy of her heroic success. With D8 effects. And since it's going to be a success, I will spend a D8 from the Doom pool to have him inflict his effect die as a counterattack to Phroggy. And I think if I do this and I go like this, is that too much? Yeah, okay, fine, sure, whatever. We'll just do it again. It's cool. I really hate that it always goes back to Arial and doesn't remember the font. Roll20, if you're watching, can you please make it so it remembers so I don't have to reset it every time? It's very embarrassing and I'm lazy. So basically what happened was Phroggy succeeded in doing D10 stress. So that's actually going to knock out one of the boss dice. And but additionally, he sort of counterattacked with some judo chop and hit her as well. And probably that's what it was, right? It was probably this like boof, kind of like into the brick building of the alley. But that's the two of them both done. 2 rounds both done. I think Phroggy, do we say Phroggy had the upper hand? No, I think he kind of did this counterattacky thing. So I think the mystery man's going to have the advantage here. So he's going to go first. 2 d8s. And his goal is to, I think, probably just blast her again. So 2 d8s plus d10. And he's going to get to add her highest stress, which is a d8. Ooh, that is not good times for Phroggy. So, well, okay, total of 18, easy. Spend a d8. Yeah, let's spend a d8 from the Doom pool. Stop it. Spend a d8 from the Doom pool to keep a third die. So we're going to have the 10, the 8, and the 4 for a total of 22 with d8 effect to do physical stress to Phroggy. Phroggy's reaction will be... is it possible her legacy of heroism has worked against her here? Yeah, I think so. I think we're going to go with a d4 for that. Hindering is something I like to do when I can, but I don't always remember to, or it doesn't always like make narrative sense to constantly be second-guessing yourself, but I think here it does. But obviously she's trying to dodge, so we'll go 2d10 for Acrobatic Grandmaster. She gets to add in the d8 from his stress. Leaping d10. No, let's do reflexes. We keep using leaping. Let's do reflexes. But we weren't croaking or anything like that, so it's just kind of this dodgy move that she's trying to do. All right, he had 22. She can make 16 plus 7. Yeah. So she's gonna go. You know what we'll do? We'll reference Assault on Ron's Attic, and the move that she does is kind of this like boo boo. Remember in the last one, she was like up on the van to the wall, like disorienting them with the croaking. I think that's what she's doing here. Is another one of those. Maybe it's like almost trademark, like a wall run hop thing that she does, but it's just kind of this like 360 or 180, 360, whatever move that she's kind of like doing to dodge. So that will give us the use of a plot point that we can reference that. And I think it will, like as a comic book panel, it would look identical almost to what she did there. And so that gives us an instant plot point that we can use. So we'll add the 8 and the 8 for a total of 16, and the 7 for a total of 16 plus 7 is 23. So that gets us a total of 23 with a d10 effect. Because that 2 over there is a d10. But additionally, we'll spend our remaining plot point to deal that back as stress. Because she's doing that kind of deal, and it's disorienting him just like it did to White Rabbit. So that is making him far less effective. Yeah, that sounds cool. And then it's her turn. Now, I'm just going to say ahead of the time, like, if this doesn't work, he's probably going to bug out. This is very much a sort of testing the waters situation for him. So she wants to set him, you know, this is done. We're done here. And so she's going to do that thing again where she just does this, like, cool spinny and then just croak right in his face. And so it's going to be Legacy of Heroism. Oops, I'm not. I should probably check my camera. Am I frozen? No, I'm not frozen. Okay, that's good. We learn. So, Legacy of Heroism, D8. We don't have any plot points right now. No, you know what? I'm going to go D4. For sometimes saving lives just means saving lives. She's not looking to save a life right now, and it is conceivable that there could be collateral damage from this. So this is kind of going against that code. She's been kind of like ticked off. And so D4, hindering, sometimes saving lives, just means saving lives. So that gets us a plot point. And then Combat Expert D8, I think. More than anything. She's not really... Well, no, we'll do the thing like she did last time. We'll do 2d10 and we'll do that move, the disorienting move. We'll keep doing that. That was cool. I liked that move. She's going to get a d8 from his stress, or his complication, excuse me. And let's see. Nope. So reflexes d10, or I guess leaping. And blast d10. Yeah. And this is to do physical stress, but obviously it's to take out one of those boss dice. Alright, roll a hitch. So we get a plot point. And he's going to actually bump up that last d8 to a d10. Excuse me. And then our total, we can do a 9 and 8 for 17. Which is nice. But I think we're going to spend some plot points to buff it up even more. We're going to go total of 9 plus 8 plus 7, which is 9 plus 8 is 17, plus 7 is 24. A total of 24 with D10 effect. Oops. D10 effect. So this is her action to deal physical stress to him and kind of... well, I guess it was technically mental stress when it was the White Rabbit, but like just the idea of like disorienting, confusing, whatever. And so his reaction to avoid this is just the 1d8 boss die plus durability and plus her d8 stress. Yep. And I think probably one of those Doom dice. Ooh. So that was a 24. So we can actually do 18 plus the 5. What's 18 plus 5? 23. It cannot be done. So we'll spend that last Doom die to keep 3 dice as a total. So it'll be a total of 23 with D8 effect. But that empties the Doom pool. And her effect die takes place. It doesn't step up, it's not a heroic success or anything, but it is a d10, which will knock out that other boss die. So I think narratively what happens here is they have this tussle in the alleyway, and she's doing the croaking bit, and he has totally underestimated her. And so I think he's going to end up just getting so kind of like overwhelmed and confused, and probably still does kind of like run away. Do we want to have him run away? Yeah, I think so. I think he's going to run, and she's going to... She would pursue, though, wouldn't she? No, I don't like that. I don't want this to be a chase. I think she might just leave him there. You know, after having beaten him, and just be like, drag him out to the sidewalk, and then just leave. Like, here, you know, there's the cops are right down there. I'm sure the Avengers, again, they'll show up again. This is kind of like when Spider-Man would leave villains like all webbed up in front of the police department. I think she's just going to be like that. Just drag him over to the sidewalk and just one more little poof, taking out that last little bit of anger, and then hopping back to class, where I think probably the class is just dismissed. Like, she gets there and it's the last person leaves the door, and closes. And so there's this Peter Parker-esque moment of Phroggy realizing that stepping up to be a hero, this legacy of heroism, has a greater cost than just the physical one, right? Because she's bummed out, she's got the emotional stress, and she's got that physical stress. She's sore from the encounter, and knows that this is how it is now. Expect those ambushes, and expect to have to make sacrifices on a personal level. So she doesn't have a secret identity either, which Peter Parker does have, or Spider-Man does have. So it could be bad things. But as far as she knows, this person that she just tussled with is just kind of a no-name rando villain. And yeah, probably some regret, part of that emotional stress. Regret about the rooftop with Oswald and how that turned out, and also regret, maybe second-guessing, like, I probably shouldn't have just left him there on the sidewalk. Yeah, so that's probably like the dramatic ending. So the first issue was very much a punch-up with a cliffhanger. And this issue was much more getting a little bit more into the hashtag drama, right? And kind of ends with that introspection moment of what it could mean for Phroggy to be the phenomenal Phroggy, and what it might mean for her future. Future, obviously, Phuture. Okay, so I think that's all we have for today. And I think it went well. Very different flair than last time, and if you noticed anything, if I made any mistakes, I don't think I did, but I usually think that, and I usually do. So if you notice them, mention it in the comments. If you have any other thoughts, comments, or observations, you can leave those as well. If you like what I'm doing, or if you have suggestions, you can leave those behind. And other than that, we will leave it there, and I will see you. I will point out, I'm going to be out of town for the next couple weeks, so there probably won't be a video for a little while yet, because I don't know that I'm going to have time to record another one. So, that being said, it may be a while. If you're new to the channel and you like what you're seeing here, I have done something similar to this in the past with the Sentinel Man. You can look back on the channel. Gosh, I sound like a real YouTuber now, huh? I don't mean to be pretentious or posh or anything like that, but I'm just saying there's other content on the channel like what we just did today that you're more than welcome to look back on in the meantime if you enjoy it. All right, so thanks so much for watching. We will catch you next time. Excelsior.